Welcome back, guys. Ep.9, the Jake Ellenbogen Show. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and if you like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button or follow button wherever you're listening to this podcast. And also be sure to review it. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need some 5-star reviews because, unfortunately, we are fighting a battle over here. People are trying to kill this podcast, essentially. A lot of people already coming in droves. I see a bunch of 1-star reviews over on Spotify. It's already happening on Apple Podcasts. We already know who they are. We already know what they represent. But they're doing the whole review bomb, which we just talked about. So do me a favor, help me out, and just let me a 5-star review. Hopefully we can stay around the 4-star mark, since they're going to kill that. But all right, let's dive into it, because I have some things I want to talk about. First off, the predictive algorithm is a problem. So I want to talk about this because there are a lot of people that are like, wow, Twitter, is always showing me these things and all that. And it's like, here's the deal. Okay. When it comes to predictive algorithms, it's not just Twitter, it's TikTok, it's, YouTube, whatever. These predictive algorithms are essentially programming you in a way to view that content. I mean, think about this. You have these algorithms that are supposedly user-friendly. They're supposedly trying to make your life easier. I'm not saying YouTube is totally guilty of this, but they are to an extent. What I'm going to say is this. You have all of these, For You page here and a For You page here and recommended here. Yeah, it's doing its best to recommend you things that you might want to see, but also it's recommending stuff that they want you to see. I mean, how many times do you get recommended just complete bullshit? Nothing that actually has anything to do with what you're interested in. I get it all the time. It's not just ads, though, I mean, just going through a For You page, it's kind of crazy, the For You section on Twitter and what you see. Then you could say, oh, yeah, it's a predictive algorithm. It can be wrong. And yes, that's true. It can. But I just don't understand why it recommends just stuff like, I have no interest in most of this stuff. I just don't really get it. I don't really get it. I think that predictive algorithms are a problem. I think they're a problem now in society. I think people are missing out on seeing. I was just talking to my buddy Gary today, and I think people are missing out on seeing content they really want to see because the algorithm wants them to see something else. I say it all the time. It essentially tries to indoctrinate you. I mean, like the predictive algorithm controls your interest more than you control the algorithm. That's what people don't understand. Now you're focused on things that the algorithm gave you, but you're not seeing the things you want to see. And then you get caught up in a loop, a trance, whatever you want to call it, and you do the whole damn thing over and over again. That's the problem. So if there's a certain person on Twitter that you're trying to see their tweets, you're like, man, I haven't seen their tweets in a minute. Well, do you wonder why? I'll tell you why. I mean, if you haven't interacted with them, there you go. If you haven't hit retweet, you haven't, hit like, you haven't commented, sure, that goes to it. But there are things to be pushed on you. And, there are certain companies that pay X amount of dollars to obviously get their brand out there, get whatever they're trying to post out there. And yes, those are ads, but I'm seeing it now more than ever. It doesn't say ad at the top, and I'm getting stuff from AI and don't get me wrong, I do get a decent amount of things I care about in the For You spot. And to be honest with you, For You is the only thing I look at. But you go on, say, TikTok or, Instagram Reels or YouTube, and it's like, man, it's supposed to be predictive based on what they think I would want based on my profile that they've likely created on me. But it doesn't feel very predictive. And if it is, it's off. That's the funny thing. That is the funny thing right there. Because for me, I mean, I don't know. You turn on YouTube and, I watch a few golf videos, right? And then I watch a video. Jimmy Johnson just got inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And then, I watched one NASCAR video. Now it's showing me a bunch of NASCAR, shorts and all that. And then, you watch one thing and now it's showing you a bunch of that. And I get that. But what about the times where you literally, like, when you're going through, say, YouTube shorts, you didn't click on anything the whole day. You haven't used YouTube in a week. The things it's showing you are the things it wants to show you. That whatever podcast, the one where the guy literally constantly, the host, he's always bagging on women for doing OnlyFans, but only invites the OnlyFans women onto his show and just trashes them. That guy. And then he tries to, come off like, oh, I'm such a big shot. I trash other people and whatnot. That guy will show up in my YouTube Shorts feed just at random. I do not watch those podcasts. I do not care about those podcasts. I'm not in the business of, getting an OnlyFans or signing up to subscribe to someone's. I do not care. But it's a constant thing where that guy will always show up. I don't know why, but he'll always show up. Mr. Beast shows up even when I haven't seen any of his videos in weeks, months. But here's the thing. I like Mr. Beast, so I don't complain. I don't like whatever. I think it's a stupid podcast. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're free to do whatever you want. And there are people that probably think my podcast is stupid. But I don't like purposely bringing people on your show, taking time out of their busy schedule, and absolutely tearing them to shreds. That's what I don't like. And I don't care who it is. I am not a believer, no matter if they deserve it or not, I'm not a believer in wasting someone's time. You don't bring somebody on your show to tear them apart. They're going on your show, giving you their time of day. You shouldn't be allowed to just, you can. You're allowed to do it, but you shouldn't do it. It's trash. But I see that shit all the time on my feed, guys. All the time. And I ask myself, why? Do I fit a profile that would be interested in that? I don't think so. YouTube, I'm not really watching anything outside of some Marvel recap videos. After I watch a movie, I like seeing, one of those movie reviews that kind of goes into, what I missed and, like those Easter egg things, things you missed in this movie. I like watching, the Film Theorist and Game Theorist and all that. I like watching Dead Meat, the horror movie channel, the horror, kill count channel. I like watching, all these different things. I mean, I watch Brett Coleman, who's a football guy. Why am I getting whatever stuff, like literally whatever, the podcast, why am I getting that stuff on my feed? What about somebody that's into football, music, horror movies? What about that is like, yeah, I want to see random OnlyFans girls come on and get absolutely roasted by some, nut job. I mean, for real. So it's weird. But like, again, like what would YouTube have to gain if that was their mission? Like, yeah, what we're going to do? We're going to indoctrinate people in the viewer, the viewership of, thinking this and that. It's like, it's weird, man. But man, I swear to God, every time I go on TikTok has an agenda. I mean, and I'm not always in agreement of it. It is kind of funny because I'll randomly get... first off, I watch funny videos on TikTok. If I'm on TikTok, I'm watching the funny shit. I'm watching Super Ray. I'm watching that guy that always dresses up as Batman. It's like Bruce Wayne if he did this in Gotham. I'm watching stuff that gets sent to me. None of my TikTok experience is ever really political, right? And yet I get so many political themes, so many, and it's on both sides. And for me, like, I don't care. Consider me apolitical at this point. I mean, if you know me, then you know my views. If you don't know me, it doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of the government. I'm not against government in general. I'm just not, a big fan of this government, like the people in it, right? So not really taking sides. But again, it's like for whatever reason, I log on to TikTok and I have to see everyone's fucking opinion about it. And I'm just thinking like, so it's predictive, right? So it's this algorithm based on what you like, right? Recommended. Well, why am I getting recommended this shit? Like, I'm not interested in it at all. And it just, I don't know. I feel like it gets worse over time. Like, I'd rather see that video where, I always laugh. Matt Hasselbeck, we're going to get the ball first and we're going to score. Pick 6, loses in overtime against the Packers. I believe that was to Al Harris. I saw that come up the other day. Got a chuckle out of that one. I like seeing those. I like seeing the NFL films, mic'd up series. I like seeing those as, as shorts. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I think the algorithm is just completely bonkers at this point. I don't think it really... I don't really think it always does what it's supposed to. I think more often than not, it's really not doing what it's supposed to. And I'm starting to notice it big time. One thing I'll say is that I do like how the algorithm helps creators, because I think it's definitely helped me out. But I feel like if you're a consumer, you guys let me know, but I'm constantly getting shit that I don't have any interest in, and it's just constantly getting pushed to me. Like those, oh my God, those prank videos. I mean, I will go on a rant saying how much I hate those prank videos, and I'm getting recommended them. And I'm like, what is happening? So yeah, it just really, really annoying, and I hope it gets fixed because, I mean, it's nice and all to be in 2024 and have all this technology, but I mean, good God, if we're really going to have algorithms that are entirely, agenda driven, I mean, leave me out of that. I'm not going to be a part of that. I'll use a VPN or whatever the hell I have to use to get me out of something like that, because that just sounds like a nightmare. I don't need to know all that. I don't care. Like, just leave me alone. Let me go be ignorant in a corner. I'm not trying to be all political and everything. So interesting news. We had the Bucks, who are 30-13, second in the Eastern Conference. They fired Adrian Griffin, their head coach. Now, I want to start off by saying I don't know who Adrian Griffin is as a person at all. Okay? I don't know if he did anything, what he did do, what he didn't do, all of that, right? Because I don't know. I truly don't know anything about him. I do know that 30-13, right? I do know that. But I'll say this. I think firing a coach in the season like that, by the way, it wasn't like he was on a losing streak. I mean, they had won, 7 of their last 8 or whatever. I think firing a head coach like that is insane to me. And again, I don't know him personally. I don't know what he did or didn't do. There has to be more of a reason behind closed doors. If there's not, this is an insane firing. A guy's 17 games above 500 and doesn't get fired. Meanwhile, Darvin Ham, who came from the Bucks, by the way, They can have him back as far as I'm concerned. Darvin Ham is the coach of the Lakers, and he just, man, does not know how to run a team. The lineups he chooses are awful. I feel like I'm just sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like, what is he doing? How do you manage to fuck up LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell? I mean, how do you manage to fuck that up? Well, ask Darvin Ham. But what really gets me about the Adrian Griffin firing is that they don't have a head coach in mind outside of one guy who, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Darvin Ham, okay, I think is basically a motivational speaker. He's not very good. He's very similar to Doc Rivers, but Rivers actually has a title. But Rivers is overrated. I mean, he really is. Doc Rivers, get this, is the favorite in Milwaukee. How in the fuck are you going to fire your head coach, who's 30-13, to bring in Doc fucking Rivers? You got to be out of your damn mind. That shit is repulsive. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. So I saw that and I can't. That really, that aggravated me, man. I mean, at what fucking point does winning matter in this league? 30-13, that's enough to get fired? Like I said, something big better come out. Otherwise, this is not a good look for Milwaukee. If I'm a player, I don't want to be there. You fire a coach when you're 17 games above 500, middle of the season, yeah, definitely don't want to be there. No chance. There's 29 other teams, and I can guarantee you not most of them aren't doing shit like that. I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I think it's going to backfire. We'll see. Could be wrong. But I just... To go out and get Doc Rivers, though, good Lord. That's awful. Another thing that was pretty awful, pretty bad. Gary Sheffield is not going to make the Hall of Fame, so he'll have to wait, be a part of the senior class, and try and make it in there. I don't know why it bothers me so much. I mean, obviously, his son and I are really good friends. One of my really close friends in the industry, just meeting him through making content. It just, I don't know, it baffles me, really. I mean, what these people have said about Gary Sheffield is honestly insane. I mean, just have like straight, like lies. I mean, I remember that one thing that came out about him not hustling to first base or whatever, giving up on a fly ball. I mean, this is just petty shit. You have a guy in David Ortiz who was found, I mean, he basically tested positive in the blood test twice, I believe. I think it was twice. And he gets in first fucking ballot. And Gary Sheffield can't get in on his 10th and final year. I mean, that is fucking pathetic. So, David Ortiz gets in on first ballot because he's liked by the media. You know, we don't have a steroid issue in the MLB. We don't have a steroid issue in the Hall of Fame. We have a voter issue. A lot of these voters are biased. A lot of these voters don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Just look at their ballots. I mean, you had a guy admit, and Gary, obviously, Gary Sheffield Jr., my friend, Gary brought it up. This one guy, I didn't forget his name, he literally put a ballot out there, and he didn't have Gary Sheffield, and he said because he'll put him in next year. Well, next year he's not on the ballot, you dipshit. It's just, it bothers me, man. First off, the 75% is asinine. Just straight asinine. I mean, it's really stupid. Like, absolutely stupid. So now Gary Sheffield, after 10 years, doesn't get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's all because of some cream or whatever on his knee. Just such a fucking joke. I mean, a 60.5 B WAR, 2,689 hits, 509 home runs. He didn't strike out more than 90 times in a season. He hit for average, he hit for power, he hit for contact. I mean, and the problem is, it's gotten to the point where it's all just about relationships, and it doesn't have as much to do with the actual play. And, you know, Randy Wilkinson, who's a guy that I've been, or Wilkins, excuse me, is a guy that I've been following for a bit now. He actually directed The Captain. So if you watch that docu-series on Derek Jeter, he directed that. But he tweeted out, Gary Sheffield isn't in the Hall of Fame more for his relationships or lack thereof with the old guard media, who are voters more than any PED accusation. There is gatekeeping rooted in personal vendettas in every industry, and this is another example. I could not have said it any better. You have a bunch of these old heads that are so obsessed. If your name, some random Twitter troll could say you took steroids, and some of these mouth-breathing morons that vote would fucking be like, well, I heard he took steroids. Yeah, I'm sorry. That dude has an anime photo. His name is JoJo. His @ is fuck you, I'm pretty. And you're going to take his word for it over actually doing your own research. And to me, at that point, it illegitimizes, I can't even say the friggin' word. It makes it illegitimate, essentially. Man, that word's fucking difficult. It makes your point illegitimate, because at that point, you're basically just taking hearsay from some random ass person. I mean, again, 75% is also absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, how many of those people thought Gary Sheffield was going to be on the ballot next year because they can't read? It literally says, you know, it denotes whatever there's like a legend at the bottom of the ballot. And like Gary is highlighted and it says like denotes last year of eligibility. And you get these fucking nimrods like, oh, well, I'll vote for him next year. Nope. 394 ballots. And Gary Sheffield is going to fall short, even though he got 63.9% of the vote. 246 out of 394 isn't enough. And to me, that's ridiculous. Why does he need 75? I mean, you want to tell me over 60% isn't worth Hall of Fame? I don't know. And then you get those fucking idiots like, oh, Alex Rodriguez definitely wasn't a Hall of Famer without steroids. 34.8. Like, are you kidding me? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, the problem is just, again, yeah, I understand steroids are bad. I don't love them, but I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think some of these people are just a bunch of nimrods. I really believe that. A lot of these voters just don't know what they're talking about. And they'll be like, oh, well, I was a writer in Seattle. Okay, well, that's fucking great. So when you were a writer in Seattle, guess what you watched? The Seattle Mariners every night and whoever the fuck played them. You did not watch Gary Sheffield in New York or, in LA or, in Atlanta or in, Milwaukee or with the Marlins. I mean, you didn't watch that shit. You watched them when they played against Seattle. It's not just Seattle, though. This is how it is. You don't have, that's the problem of having all these writers. They're biased as fuck. Not to mention, most of them are idiots. You can't even tell this story of baseball in the 80s without Don Mattingly. He's not in the fucking Hall of Fame. And he was going to be, in all likelihood. The guy that would have voted for him, I guess, had to step out. They tried to, it was like last year. He had to step out, and then a kid ended up voting. I say kid, but he's probably a little bit older than me. Younger guy, didn't know who Mattingly was, didn't vote for him. There you go. End of story. Yeah, it's just, man, it pisses me the fuck off. It really does. And I try not to get too pissed about the Hall of Fame, but it's like every year when it happens, I just get so pissed off. Because my issue is, my play should fucking speak for itself. And let's not just talk about baseball, right? Let's talk about the Hall of Fame in general across all sports. My play should speak for its fucking self. I shouldn't have to have a fucking representative that's on the beat that covers my team or that covered my team have to go and bat for me. I'm sorry, hitting over 500 home runs, not striking out more than 90 times in a season, having a B WAR over 60, that shit should matter. That should matter. And it just, to me, it's a lot of this politics bullshit. I mean, it really is. Well, no. I mean, David Ortiz, are we certain he didn't take steroids? Because I'm almost positive he failed 2 tests. 2 different blood tests. But you notice it's always an excuse with him. Do you know why? Because everybody likes Big Pappy. Everyone likes him. Who does he not get along with? I like him. But you can't tell me he's a Hall of Famer and Gary Sheffield isn't. You can't tell me he's a Hall of Famer and Alex Rodriguez isn't. It's a load of shit, man. It's fucking bullshit. I mean, these people have to do a better job. But in turn, what happens here? Because the more and more you get this bullshit, I got to be honest with you, the less people are going to take it seriously. And I think we're getting into an era of sports where if these old heads aren't careful, people like myself and younger they're not going to even acknowledge the Hall of Fame. See, the Hall of Fame is great. But if you're not going to, if you're going to force these guys to wait, like Torrey Holt's still waiting for the Football Hall of Fame, which is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. Same with Patrick Willis. You're waiting for Gary Sheffield. Todd Helton wasn't in until I think this year. Now he's finally in. You're waiting for these guys, and it's like at some point or another, it looks bad on the Hall of Fame and not on the players not getting in. At some point or another, you have to flip the script and be like, maybe, just maybe, the Hall of Fame isn't as iconic as it used to be. When it first started, you had guys like Babe Ruth, you had guys like Jim Thorpe, you had guys like Walter Payton and, Barry Sanders and, Jim Rice, Ted Williams. We're talking just baseball and football right now, but, even in basketball, the Basketball Hall of Fame, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all those guys. Yeah. But now it's like you're getting to the point where it's like you can tell they just don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Like, I don't know. Terrell Davis got in before I believe it was Kurt Warner. I don't know. I don't know, man. What I do know is that I've kind of just learned the Hall of Fame, even though I had a little bit of a rant on it, because I want to say my piece. I've kind of just learned that the Hall of Fame is kind of a sham. I mean, don't get me wrong. The honors are still there. It's still a big deal to get into the Hall of Fame. You're called a Hall of Famer. It makes, matters. But, I mean, the fact that you have these guys not in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds got 66% of the vote in his last year of eligibility. It's the 5th most all time, by the way. With that steroid thing holding over his head. Still not a Hall of Famer. Enos Slaughter, 68.8%. That was 4th. Red Ruffing, 72.6%. Orlando Cepeda, 73.5%. And number 1, Nellie Fox in 1985, 74.7%. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. Eventually he got in, and there will be guys like in the Veterans Committee. These guys will get in. Cepeda got in. Fox got in. Red Ruffing, I believe, did get in. Slaughter, I think, got in. Yes, he did. Barry Bonds still did not. I don't get it. I mean, here's my thing. Okay, I understand the whole steroid thing, all that, but it's like, okay, Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he took steroids. Just look at him on the Pirates. Roger Clemens, really? Gary Sheffield, really? I mean, Gary Sheffield has the 7th most votes in the final year of eligibility all time. It's just so lame, man. It's just the whole... Yeah, it pisses me off. I don't want to talk too much about it. I've talked a lot about it as it is, but the Hall of Fame just really frustrates me. And again, you can only have a limited amount of guys. I mean, I just hate the way baseball does it. 75% of the vote. Are you kidding me? It's just ridiculous. I'm just not at all a fan of it. But, I guess, hey, that's just the way life is, right? Anyway, let's talk. We got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Detroit Lions. Lions fans, am I allowed to say their name? Can I talk about this game, or are you going to come at me with pitchforks and torches? I mean, goodness. You can't say anything on the internet about the Lions or they'll come after you. Makes me wonder what happens if they lost. Like if the Rams beat them, would they have followed through on those death threats that they sent to me and my co-host? That is the question. But anyway, enough unnecessary jabs because I'm literally fucking rooting for the Lions this week, as I've said. I think that the 49ers are going to win. I think that the Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs, and I think the 49ers are going to beat the Ravens in the Super Bowl. That's how I feel. I think I've already talked about it. I've seen a lot of just anti-Brock Purdy stuff. I got to be honest with you guys. I understand you might not like him. If he's on your rival, I get it. You're not exactly like flocking to give him praise, but Brock Purdy is much better than what the media is trying to say. Okay? Not all media. I think... Let me be very clear here. I'll say this. I think that there are people in the media that overrate Brock Purdy, and I think there are people in the media that underrate Brock Purdy. I think it's weird how everyone was hanging on to Cam Newton's words about Brock Purdy. I think, it was just an opinion. I've already seen the NFL Twitter account quote him and say, like, whatever. I mean, my thing is, we don't really know who Brock Purdy is because it's too early. But based on what we've seen, I'm not like going to bat for the idea that he's just this bust. Plus, he was Mr. Irrelevant. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of hearing how, oh yeah, he's not great, whatever. It's like, it's getting a little ridiculous. We'll see what happens this week. He had a bad week against the Packers, sure, but I don't think we have enough data. I don't think we have enough details on that to really truly know. And yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel when it comes to Brock Purdy. Yeah, I mean, I have a few other things I want to talk about here. A couple other things. Netflix has hinted at future price increase for subscribers per discussing film. As we invest in improve Netflix, we'll occasionally ask our members to pay a little extra to reflect those improvements. Okay, so here's my deal. All right, Netflix is literally going to be charging you every single year, it seems like, until their fucking subscription is $50 a month, it seems like. I like Netflix. I do. I like the UI. I think the user interface is really good. I like the selection. What I don't like are shows getting canceled. If I'm paying you all this money and your argument is we're going to continue to chalk up those prices because we want to essentially improve Netflix, then you can't be canceling our motherfucking shows that we're spending hours of our time watching. And I think this goes without saying, and it'll be in another episode where I'll probably just expand on it a little bit more detailed because, man, I could go off on a tangent when it comes to just them canceling shows that I'm in the middle of or people are in the middle of. But the point I'm making here is that if Netflix wants to be that, okay, we're going to be that badass bitch that like, yeah, you're going to have to pay us X amount of dollars. Okay, give us the value. Because right now, the Netflix that we see on there is not valuable enough to charge $25 a month. I saw they got rid of the lowest price plan. Are those people grandfathered in, or did you move them up the rungs? Are you now charging them more? I don't love it. I really don't love it. It's one of the things that bothers me when it comes to Netflix because I just feel like they keep raising their prices. And again, I like it, but if they're going to keep raising their prices, I mean, I'll just be like, fuck it. I'm going to cancel, I mean, there are plenty of other ones, and you always have means to finding those. We'll just say that. You always have means to finding TV shows and movies. You don't necessarily need Netflix, but anyway. Last thing I want to talk about here. I don't know how realistic this is. I mean, industry insider Daniel RPK reportedly, put this out there. Cohorty will reportedly make her live action debut in the MCU within the next 4 years. If you guys haven't checked out What If Season 2, highly recommend it. There's a Mohawk Indian Cohorty who gains powers via the Tesseract in What If, which is, separate universe from the main MCU universe. But a lot of people really liked it. Original character. Both the creator of the show, like the creator of that story, the creator of the character, they both followed me on Twitter. Appreciate them, by the way, if they're listening. Probably not, but still appreciate them. I think this is cool. I know there are people that have an issue with it. Again, the whole MCU thing, because, adding females to the MCU is a bad thing, apparently. But I think it's really cool. I like the diversity there. I think it's a cool new character, and I really enjoyed watching What If with that character. There were people complaining that she was too overpowering. There were people complaining about them doing way too much in What If Season 2. Here's my argument for that. Essentially, What If allows you to kind of do whatever you want. It's really kind of just this giant ball of clay you can mold into whatever you want. The possibilities are fucking endless. That's why all of a sudden Star Wars wants to have a What If series. But no, I'm really excited. I hope it happens sooner than later because I want to see Cohorty in the live action. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. And by the way, I still need to fucking finish Echo. I still need to finish Reacher. I got a bunch of movies to watch, so maybe we'll catch up on those. I don't know. A lot of content to come out with, of course, but that's all I got for you guys in round 9 here of the podcast. Appreciate you guys supporting. Be sure to, of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a 5-star review. Would really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. Just, again, keeping this daily thing going. 9 straight days, folks. 9 straight. And we're not stopping anytime soon. So, again, appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care, folks. Later.